Hello and welcome back to Arjival Diaries. I'm your host Reena and I'm thrilled to have you here today. Today we are going to dive into a topic that is not only useful for your speaking practice but also deeply personal and meaningful. That is describing changes in your life. Life, after all, is full of changes. Sometimes they are small, like changing your daily routine, and sometimes they are big, like moving to a new city, starting a new job, or even shifting your entire perspective on something important. Being able to talk about these changes in English helps you share your story more confidently and connect with others on a deeper level. Let me begin with a small story from my own experience. A few years ago, I was completely focused on translation work. I loved helping companies and individuals communicate across languages. But gradually, I realized that my passion was not limited to translation. It was also about spoken communication, especially in English. That realization was a turning point for me. I began exploring podcasting and public speaking, and that change has shaped my journey in ways I couldn't have imagined before. This is an example of how describing a change in your life is not just about what happened, but also about how it influenced you and what it taught you. Now let's talk about the language side of this. When you describe changes in your life, you often use phrases like earlier I used to, but now I, or over the years I have become more, or that experience completely changed my perspective. These kind of sentences help you show the contrast between the past and the present. For instance, I could say earlier I used to feel shy about speaking English, but now I feel much confident because I practice every day. This not only tells people about the change but also shows them your growth. Changes can also be practical. Think about moving to a new house or city. You can say, when I first moved to this city, everything felt strange and unfamiliar. But over time, I adjusted, made new friends, and now it feels like home. Here, you are not just describing the change of location, but also the emotional journey that came with it. Another important way to talk about changes is to use time expressions. Words like gradually, eventually, suddenly, or over time add depth to your description. For example, at first I found it difficult to manage my work and personal life, but gradually I learned how to balance the two. Or one sudden change in my life was when I decided to switch career. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. These expressions make your storytelling more vivid and natural. Let me share another example. One of the biggest changes in my life was moving from being a learner of English to becoming someone who teaches English through podcast. At first, I doubted myself, could I really guide others? But as I kept practicing and sharing, I noticed that people started connecting with my words. That gave me confidence, and now I can proudly say that what began as a small step has become a meaningful journey. This change taught me that growth often begins outside of our comfort zone. When you describe changes in your own life, try to connect them with emotions as well. For example, instead of just saying, I changed my job, you can say, changing my job was a challenging but rewarding experience. At first, I felt nervous about leaving my comfort zone, but soon I realized it was the best decision for my growth. See the difference? It feels more human, more relatable. I also want you to notice how describing changes can inspire others. Imagine telling a friend, I used to spend all my free time scrolling on my phone, but now I have started reading English books every evening. and it has improved not only my vocabulary but also my focus. By sharing this, you are not only talking about yourself, you are motivating someone else to try it too. So, here is something you can practice after listening to this podcast. Think of one big change and one small change in your life. For the big change, it could be something like moving cities, changing careers, or starting a new family tradition. For the small change, it could be waking up earlier, drinking more water, or learning 5 new English words every day. Try to describe both using the structures we practiced. Earlier, I used to, but now I, or this experience has made me more. By doing this, you will see how easily you can turn your own life story into fluent English conversations. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to remind you that life is all about change. Some changes are easy, some are difficult, but every change teaches us something new. The beauty lies in being able to express those experiences clearly in English so that you can share your journey with the world. Keep noticing the changes in your own life, keep talking about them, and you will find not only your English improving but also your confidence growing day by day. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this episode gave you both practical language tool and some inspiration to reflect on your own journey. Remember, every change, no matter how small, shapes who you are. Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep embracing change with confidence.